Every day, somewhere in Pittsburgh, and wherever you are, there's a job seeker preparing for their job interview. Maybe it's you. It's exciting to get that call. Perhaps a great new opportunity awaits. But first, there's that job interview. How do you get ready for that?
Start here at PA CareerLink in Pittsburgh, Allegheny County. We want to help prepare you for your next job interview.
That's right, Beth. And in this video, we'll help job seekers with their interview questions. We hope you'll gain lots of great tips and pointers, and it will help you be successful at your next interview.
Getting ready for the job interview starts long before you actually arrive there. Begin by learning about the company. What products do they make? What services do they provide? Learning about the company tells the interviewer you are really interested in what the company does and in working there. Most companies love to share information about themselves on their company website. Look for an Our Company or About Us tab, usually on the very top or the very bottom of the home page. Do a search on the internet to get recent news about the company. Job seekers can use their resume and the job posting to prepare for lots of interview questions. And here's how. Pat, our job seeker, will be interviewing for a sales position. To prepare, Pat will review the job posting to see what skills and abilities the employer is looking for. We've underlined them here. It is likely that the interviewer will ask questions about these skills and abilities. Pat will look for similar skills and abilities on his resume. We've underlined them here. And he'll think about how he used those skills and abilities in his past jobs to share at the interview, so the employer will learn what a great fit he is for the position. Let's continue to some actual interview questions. This is often the first question a job seeker hears at an interview.
So thanks for coming in today. Why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, I was laid off from my last job, and I really need to find another job as soon as possible. Some of my outdoor hobbies cost a few dollars. Since I've been off work, I've been doing whitewater rafting, rock climbing, and I skydive all the time. I think that's my favorite. I really like the outdoor adventures, so I think I could do this job.
When you hear "tell me about yourself," add, as it relates to this job. What do you have to offer that directly relates to this job, like your skills, your experience, or your education? Explain why you're a great fit for this job, how your background and skills match to the job posting. What are the most important and best things you want the interviewer to know about you? Talk about who you are professionally. Keep all personal information out. Not everyone, including your interviewer, may share your enthusiasm for some of your outside interests, opinions, or activities. So limit your answer to just what's related to the job. And keep your focus on what you can do for the company, not what they can do for you.
I love the outdoors. I volunteer on my local walking and hiking trail, so I'm knowledgeable about your products. I've actually used them myself. So I can be a great resource for your customers. I'm a very good salesperson. I have over 5 years experience in all aspects of retail sales. In fact, in my last position, I won several sales awards. I have them actually here in my portfolio if you want to see them. I work really well with customers, and I'm available to work all shifts. So I can do a great job here now, and I hope to grow my career with your company into the future.
In this scene, our interviewer asks a behavioral interview question. The interviewer wants to know what you did to handle various work situations in the past, how you behaved or acted. The questions often start out with, "Tell me about a time." A great way to answer them is with a career STAR story. STAR stands for a situation you were in at work, the task you were asked to do, the action you took, and the result. When you use a STAR story, you don't just say that you have a skill. You give an example of how you used that skill and the positive results you achieved. Like this.
So, can you tell me about a time where you provided great customer service?
At my last job, I was an administrative assistant. I was asked to help my department increase customer satisfaction, so I created a database so we could answer customers' questions faster. Our department's customer satisfaction rating increased to 99%.
Review the job posting for skills and abilities the job requires. Use your resume to find examples of how you used those skills in your past job. For each skill, make a few notes so you easily remember the situation, task, action, and result. Practice your STAR stories so you can recall them easily at your interview and share them with the interviewer in a way that sounds natural, not memorized. And be sure to end each story on a positive note. What were the positive results you achieved?
So, can you describe to me a time when you had a difficult or challenging work situation?
I had a customer that ordered an item and chose the wrong shipping option, so they were charged a larger shipping fee. I explained the different shipping fees to them so they wouldn't make the same error next time. They were still pretty angry about their order, though.
If you think that describe a situation sounds like tell me about a time, you are absolutely right. It's also a behavioral question. Whenever a behavioral question is asked, one that asks you to tell me about a time or describe a situation, a career star story would be a great way to respond. When you prepare your star stories, don't just focus on the skills. Think about some challenges too. An example would be customer service skills. You may be asked about providing great customer service. You may also be asked about handling a difficult customer. Think of past work situations that were difficult, but that you handled well. Even if you're not asked, like in this question, be sure to tell the interviewer what you did to turn the situation around. Always end on a positive note.
There was a time that I had a customer who was really angry about their order. They ordered an item and chose the wrong shipping option, so they were charged a larger shipping fee. I explained the different shipping fees to them, although when I listened to their explanation, I could see how they might misunderstand. I brought the situation to my supervisor, and my supervisor allowed me to refund the difference in fees, and the customer was really happy.
So, what did you like the best and the least with your last job?
I liked answering a lot of different calls so I wouldn't get bored. It still got boring sometimes, though.
Talk about the job tasks you really enjoyed and excelled at in your last job. Are there similarities on the job posting? That would be great to talk about. For least favorite tasks, talk about something you liked a little less, but how you still made the best of it.
I worked at a call center providing customer service for a pet supply company. I really enjoyed the fast pace there and talking to lots of different customers. I handled a variety of calls from orders to deliveries to customer service, so it made each day interesting. What I liked least was when there was a slowdown in calls, for example, after the holidays. I always tried to make good use of my time, for example, processing any paperwork, but my preference was to always stay busy on calls.
Tell me about your best or worst boss.
My last job was a family heating and cooling business, so there was a lot of drama. I just tried to stay out of it. It didn't always work, and sometimes my boss and I had disagreements, so I'm looking for a job now that's in a bigger company. My boss was the owner of the company, and he micromanaged everything I did.
If given a choice, it may be easiest to talk about the best boss you had. It's more difficult to talk about your worst boss, but it's also an opportunity to demonstrate to the interviewer how you coped in a difficult situation. Whatever you choose, never make negative comments about past employers or coworkers. Avoid discussing conflicts or disagreements. Share what positives there were in the job, things you learned, customers you worked with, experience you gained. If you must discuss things that you don't care for, use some neutral rather than negative terms, like this.
My last job was in a small heating and cooling company, so my supervisor was very detail-oriented and made all the decisions about each job. I think I gained a lot of technical skills and experience there, but I feel like I'm ready to move on to a larger company with more opportunity to use my skills and my decision-making abilities.
Tell me about a job-related accomplishment or success.
Well, at my last job, a large part of my job was making service calls to people's homes to repair furnaces. I was usually the person that they called when the other service technicians couldn't figure it out.
Talk about any promotions or recognitions you received as a result of your work. Your accomplishment or success doesn't have to be an award. Think of something that you accomplished in your job that you were happy about. How did you make a difference helping a patient, making a repair, or completing an assignment? It helps if your success or accomplishment is relevant to the job you are interviewing for. It's an opportunity to point out to the interviewer how you can make a difference in your new job, too.
In my last job, a large part of my job was making service calls to people's homes for furnace repairs. There was an old unit that the other service technicians had struggled with most of the day. They could not figure it out. And even though it was late in the day on a Friday, I arrived on the job and remained there into the evening, did a lot of research, and finally got the old unit working. My supervisor was really pleased and put me in charge of a pilot training program for the other technicians. I was really happy to share my knowledge, and the technicians reported that the repairs were being completed in a much shorter time than usual.
How would your coworkers or boss describe you?
I think they would say I'm a nice person, and I did a really good job while I was there.
Highlight all of the positive things about you that apply to this job. This is a great time to talk about your friendliness, helpfulness, and ability to get along with others and work as a team. Don't overlook your adaptive skills, personality traits that make you successful at your job, things like being reliable, dependable, and positive.
I believe they would say that I was a great nursing assistant. In addition to performing my assigned job duties well and in a professional manner, I was kind and compassionate to all my patients and their families. I made sure that I was on time, always positive, and dependable. I think my coworkers would say I was always willing to pitch in and help them find needed assistance in any way since we worked as a team, and that I was always friendly and got along with everyone.
What are your strengths?
All my patients had pretty good things to say about me, and I'm good on a computer, too.
This is a great opportunity to talk about your greatest strengths and abilities. Focus on the strengths and abilities that will be useful in the job you're interviewing for. And don't overlook your adaptive traits, personality traits that make you successful. For example, are you reliable, dependable? Be sure to include those as well.
I think my greatest strength is how well I work with patients and their families. I always treat them like how I would like to be treated, and I always strive to be kind and patient, and remember they're often in difficult situations. I am very reliable and dependable because I know that people are counting on my help.
What's your biggest weakness?
I don't really think I have any.
We all have things we can improve on. Explain how you identified, worked on, and improved a weakness. Consider talking about something work-related that you did well, but saw an opportunity to do even better.
I am really efficient, so sometimes I would tend to rush through my work to get it done a little early. And even though the work was more than satisfactory, I saw that I could take a little more time to complete it, so it would still be done on time and be even more accurate.
Tell me about a time when you made a mistake.
I don't usually make too many mistakes. I didn't make any huge mistakes in my last job. When I first started out there, I needed to calculate a lot of complicated measurements for flooring, so sometimes I made a few little mistakes doing that.
We all make mistakes at work. This is a good opportunity to demonstrate to the interviewer how you took responsibility for your actions. That being said, it's probably best to avoid talking about the biggest mistake you ever made or ones that impact the top skills required for the job. Talk about the steps you took to correct the mistake. Explain what positive things resulted from the situation and what you learned from it. How did it make you a better employee now?
At my last job, when I first started out there, I needed to calculate a lot of complicated measurements for flooring. One time I made an error and the customer did not receive enough ceramic tile to complete the job. I brought the error to my supervisor's attention right away, and fortunately there was enough in our inventory to complete the job. I delivered the tile immediately and apologized to our customers. My skills in calculating materials have improved since that time, but I've learned to always check my calculations more than once before placing the customer's orders.
Why do you want to work for this company?
It seems like a great company to work for. I've done this kind of work for a long time, so I can totally do this job. I hear they have a great benefits package, flex time, and lots of leave, which I could really use.
When you hear this question, think.
Why do you want to work for this company?
What appeals to you about this particular job or company? Have you used their products or services? Think back to your company research. Knowing about the company shows you are genuinely interested in what the company does and in working there. Explain what you can contribute and what makes you a great fit for the job. Keep your focus on what you can do for the company, not what the company can do for you. Avoid talking about salary, benefits, or leave time.
I have a lot of experience working on this make of car. In fact, I actually own one myself and do all my own maintenance. So I would be very familiar with the maintenance and repairs of the vehicles your dealership handles each day. I'm always trying to enhance my job skills, so I'd like to work for a company that offers and values training to keep up with the automotive technology. I've worked in an auto dealership before, and I enjoy that working environment that lets me build relationships with customers. I've always prided myself on my excellent diagnostic and mechanical skills, and it seems like those are valued here as well. I have the skills to do a great job right now, and I think this is a company where my career can develop into the future.
Why should we hire you?
I've been looking for a job for a while, and when I read about this job, I thought this one would be really good for me. I've done jobs like this before, and I think I could do a good job here too.
Why should we hire you instead of the other candidates? What sets you apart from the others? This is usually one of the last questions, so prepare to sum it up, sell yourself, and end on a positive note.
I have a great track record of providing deliveries in a safe and efficient manner. I have great customer service skills, and I have the technical ability to work with hardware, power tools, and building materials. I think I have the ability to step into this role and do a great job right away with minimal training, and since this is a growing company, I hope that I'll have the opportunity to learn more and develop my career here as well.
Why did you leave your last job?
This is a tough interview question for lots of job seekers. Maybe you've been out of work for a long time, maybe you were terminated, or maybe you just don't know where to begin to answer this question. Don't go it alone. Visit your local PA CareerLink office. You'll find employment professionals who can provide expert help and resources for your particular situation. They can help you present your skills and abilities at your job interview in the best possible way.
So what questions do you have for me?
Do benefits start right away in this position?
None.
Having a few questions ready about the job itself reinforces your interest in the position. Prepare at least 3 questions for your interviewer. Avoid questions about salary, benefits, and leave. Ask if and how you may follow up on the position.
What would you say is best about working here? When do you anticipate a decision will be made?
What are the next steps in this process? I want to do really well in this position. What would you say is the top priority for someone taking this job?
You probably heard the saying, actions speak louder than words. This holds true at a job interview. What are you telling the interviewer about yourself by your actions? For example, when you arrive to your interview on time, you are telling the interviewer that you are reliable and dependable. It's a good idea to arrive about 10 minutes early for the interview. When you're nice to people you meet at the company, you're telling the interviewer that you're personable. You get along with everyone. Your interview starts the moment you walk onto their property. That means the person in the parking lot, in the lobby, the receptionist, anyone may share what a good or bad experience they had with you as you are arriving for or leaving from your interview. So make sure it's good. When you dress appropriately for your interview, you're telling the interviewer that you're a professional. You have taken the time and effort to make a positive impression on them with your appearance because you want this job. When you shut off your cell phone before your interview, you're telling the interviewer that you're focused on the interview by giving them your full attention. When you shake the interviewer's hand and make eye contact with them, you're saying, "I'm confident." When you wait for the interviewer to invite you to be seated, you're telling them, "I'm courteous and polite." When you bring a portfolio or folder to the interviewer, you're saying, "I'm organized." Be sure to bring any paperwork or information your interviewer has requested. When you offer the interviewer copies of your resume, you're telling them, "I'm prepared." When you smile and remain positive throughout the interview, you're telling the interviewer, "I'm friendly." When you learn about the company, their products and services, you're telling the interviewer, "I'm really interested in what this company does, and I want to work here." The same thing is true when you wrap up the interview with a handshake and a sincere thank you for their time. Many of your actions can speak louder than words during your job interview. This can work to your benefit, since the positive traits you demonstrated at the interview are the very things that many employers look for in their employees. So, keep in mind what your actions are telling the interviewer about you at your job interview. Be sure to have your portfolio or folder ready with the requested paperwork, questions for your interviewer, name and correct phone numbers of references, extra copies of your resume, and a pen. Have your entire interview outfit, from head to toe, ready and waiting. Arrive on time by knowing your route. Take the bus or drive to your interview location before the actual date. Allow extra time for traffic or parking. Have your bus pass or parking fees ready. Your interviewer may offer you their business card and tell you if and how you can follow up on the position. If they don't, you can ask for their contact information. It's a good practice to send a follow-up email or letter thanking the interviewer for their time and expressing your continuing interest in the position. If you need more help with your interview or job search, visit your local PA Career Link office. Find your nearest location at the Job Gateway website. Thank you for watching. Good luck at your interview.